Welcome everybody. Welcome. I hope y'all enjoyed the music. I was over here jamming a little bit. I messed around and clicked it off. I wasn't really trying to do that. Mm. Bring my music back on real quick. Yeah, learning curve, guys. I'm still learning on the fly. Uh, there we go. It's probably gonna start all over, but um, welcome. Oh, there we go. I got my music back. Uh, But welcome everybody. Welcome. I'm going to stop the music now. But welcome. I'm just trying to wait for a few more viewers to come on. See some people chiming in. If you're here, just say hello. Drop a little. Oh, okay. Um, Drop a little comment. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're here. Everything. Hey, mom, I see you here. Um, how you doing, mother? See. Got John Bush is watching. I see Mel is watching. How you guys doing? Just say hello to me right now. I love you, mom. Thank you so much. You're my biggest supporter. Um, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into another episode of the My Brother show, where, of course, the goal is always to encourage one another, one man to one man. I am your host. My name is Maurice Fresh. You guys know me by now. You guys have been here by now. And just thank you guys for the constant support. I'm like 13 or 14 episodes in, and when I came up with this idea, I would have never thought that it would have blown up to the extent in which it's blown up. So I just thank you guys for your constant support. Thank you guys for supporting me. Today I'm going to be sporting this fancy mug that I got that my good friend Kelly made for me. So I got my little fancy blinked out mug, guys. So when you see me sipping from it, it's because I'm showing off a little bit and I'm happy. so um, let's thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. So today, if you've been following, our episode, we're talking about money, we're talking about cash, we're talking about goals. What? In the Jay-Z DMX song voice. So money, cash, goals. I was going to play that, but it's a little vulgar. So I opted to use the OJs on there because I ain't want to be that vulgar. I have a lot of women supporters, so I didn't want to play that song. But we're gonna talk about money. We're gonna talk about cash. We're gonna talk about goals. We're gonna talk about situations. If you follow me, you saw last week I actually put up a post asking men what were the areas that they struggled with, and I kind of used that post to create some scenarios. I have some terrific financial experts who will be joining me. Before I get there, I do want to take this opportunity to do something that I haven't done before, actually, guys. So guys, just bear with me with this one. Um, First and foremost, before I say this, I will always do this for free. Like I will never charge anyone to watch what it is that I'm doing. However, if you guys would like to support me, if you guys would like to support the show somehow, if you want to donate, just some things that your donations could go to. I made a list of them right here. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you guys. If you guys want to donate to the show, you can. Jesus Christ, it went away. There we go. If you guys would like to support the show, you can cash at me, $ my brother. You can hit me up on PayPal, paypal.me/RushMaurice. You can see some of the things that the donations will go to: better recording equipment, better sound quality, a larger audience reach, higher profile guests, paid interns. Lord knows, you guys might not realize this, but I'm actually doing everything on my own. While I'm live, and I would like to bring in an intern and preferably be able to pay that person for the couple of hours of service that they gave me while I'm live. The stream on more platforms. The platform that I use to stream this program actually caps off at 3. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Twitch currently. But I can stream to more platforms at a higher price range. So some of your donations will go to support that. Business partnerships, I would like to start partnering with different businesses where, let's say you're a clothing maker. I support by wearing your clothing while I'm live. You support me by giving the donations. By giving me the articles of clothing at a discounted price. And web and social media presence, just to create a website, just to create a greater social media presence. So those are some things that your donations could go to. Anything that you would like to send will help. But like I said, I will never charge for this. I'm going to continue to do this for free. I just, thank you guys in advance for anything that you can do. Okay. Now that that was said, and click that off. Let's get into the introducing my amazing panelists. I have 3 terrific and wonderful guys up here with me, who are all. None of them are millionaires yet, but we're gonna speak that into existence. So first off, let me introduce this guy, former coach, my big cousin, just always there to chat with me, always there to hang with me, man. Guy, it's my cousin, so I've known him for 32 plus years. um, and unfortunately for all my watchers, he is a Cowboys fan, so I hope y'all don't click me off when I bring him on. But he is a Cowboys fan. But I want to bring on my big cousin, Keith Jones. Keith, what's going on, cuz?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Man, what's going on with you? Keith, talk a little bit about what it is that you do in the financial world.
Let's talk about that sarcasm and the Cowboys first. We be all right by the end of the season. We be good. I'm just pretty simple. I actually been in finance probably close to 20 years now, but for the last 12 years, I own a tax company, and that's my basic business, a tax and consulting firm. But I delve in a little bit of everything. A little bit of I actually started off in mortgages before taxes on the finance and banking side, and I just broke off and sort of did my own thing. It didn't happen purposely, but I guess through good business and word of mouth, my tax customers, my tax business sort of took off. So that's my pretty much my full-time thing right now. But that's basically it in a nutshell. Like I said, I've been doing it for a while. I offer a few different things: business taxes, personal taxes, for other financial advice, mortgages, things like that.
Yeah, so that's awesome, man. I'm real glad you could join me because he gave me grief because he said he don't got no money when I asked him to come on. But I mean, I'm really glad, man. It brings me great joy when I'm able to actually have like my actual family members. I actually have a personal relationship with every guest that I've had on, but like when I can bring my family on, it just like really gives me great joy to do that.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate given what little expertise I had.
Right. So speaking of family members, I'm going to introduce this next guy, and I've known him probably since like my junior year in high school. All pub basketball player, D2 scholarship athlete, and he's all about creating generational wealth, creating wealth within the family. And he's doing some great things in the finance thing. And I'm going to bring on, without further ado, my good friend Ryan Smith. Ryan, what's going on?
Hey man, I appreciate you keeping that legend alive, the old pub days, man. I wish I could go back there.
Nah, you still got it a little bit, man. You never lose it.
I just don't want to get fat. That's all I'm trying to do. Just keep.
Go talk about a little bit what you do in the financial world, bro.
So I've been a financial advisor since I came out of college, man. Just like trying to really help people build their wealth, retirement planning, life insurance planning, comprehensive financial advising, kind of the whole nine in that space with Equitable Advisors. And then you alluded to some of the things that we're doing now, and really, is bringing me a great amount of pleasure and joy with what I believe I'll be spending the rest of my career on, which is just trying to figure out how to put the most wealth in the Black community that I can. And that's what I want to do day in and day out. And we're building this thing called the $1 Billion Bridge, and I'm excited to share it with the public and run with it. So that's the endeavor.
Well, that's dope. And I actually was able to sit in on the $1 Billion Bridge presentation twice, actually. I'm going to give them a chance towards the end to talk more about that. But everyone watching this, I highly suggest that you sit in on that because it's an amazing presentation and you'll learn some great things about money that I didn't know about. And I think that everyone should hear that. And last, but certainly not least, I am going to bring on singer extraordinaire, top 5 dead or alive. Y'all can't see people when they off the screen, man. He is rolling right now. But top 5 singers dead or alive, easy. And I'm not gonna make him sing on the live, but I'm going to bring on my good friend, my bro, Joe Mackey. Joe, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Top 5, that might be a stretch, but I do what I can.
Dead or alive, Joe? Dead or alive? But no, Joe, I'm glad to have you on, man. You can talk a bit about what you do in the financial world.
Yeah, first, thank you for having me. Much like the other two guys, I've been in finance probably close to 20 years as well. I own three Jackson Hewitt tax offices in the city of Philadelphia. They are two of them are in the North Philadelphia area. We do a little bit of everything: credit consultation, small business consultation and setup, financial planning. You name it in the finance realm, I do it. So the other big piece of what I'm doing right now, I just launched a financial literacy project. I'm looking to partner with some schools and some different organizations to really teach our community about financial literacy, how to balance a checkbook, how to save, what to spend money on, what not to spend money on.
That's awesome, man. So Joe's on some really big things too. I know Joe, man. I ain't going to talk about it. I was gonna say I know Joe ain't quite rich yet, but by this time next year he probably will be.
I receive that. I definitely receive that. You're speaking my language here.
No, but thank you guys for coming on. Like I said, this episode is titled "Money Cash Goals." You know, I just want to talk about how we handle our money because I think that there's a huge focus on everybody wants to be rich, but we don't all have that blueprint to get there. So if we could put it in a direction. I mean, obviously everyone's not going to be a millionaire, but if you can get us to the direction of being financially free or financially literate, I figured I could do something to contribute to that. So before we jump into the scenarios, the first question I do want to pose to you guys, is what does financial freedom mean? Because I feel like we hear that term thrown around a lot. But what's that mean? What does it look like when someone says financial freedom? And any one of you guys can start off with that one.
I guess I gotta go first. I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. What you see as financial freedom, what do you strive for? The first things that I realized with financial freedom is never having to worry about bills and stressing over bills and you got to pay this, you got to pay that, or being over your limits and credit cards and things like that. Another thing is buying some of the things that you want, helping your family members out. I mean, as far as, like I said, I'm not rich yet, but as far as being a little free financially, last few years I've been blessed and not to have to worry about some of the things that I, grew up with and, some of the things that I worry about in the past.
Financial freedom for me is really your money working for you. We often work for it, but it has to work for you. So you're getting interest, you're getting residual income from somewhere. And again, you're not having worry. We always want to have bills, but if you have a good process in place to tackle them each and every month as they come up, that's really, you're not bound by anything.
Right.
I would agree with a lot of what you guys said. I might put a slightly different spin on it. I will reference a lot of the work that I do from a retirement planning standpoint. When people think about retirement, really, I kind of put those in a similar category. We're trying to get to a point that we can be in a space where we don't necessarily have to work every day for $1. And I would almost say not necessarily just financial freedom, but financial flexibility, where we have the flexibility to do kind of the things that we want to do and or go in and out of not necessarily jobs, but let's say work situations where we can we're in control, right? Where the job isn't controlling us, we're in control. And that may be some levels of entrepreneurship. That may be, I have a pension and Social Security, but I still work a part-time job because I want to, right? But I think to your point, Joe, bills are always going to be there. I speak with individuals on all ends of the wealth spectrum, and everybody worries about bills, man. Right? Your bills are just different. So financial freedom to you guys' point is going to be look different for everybody. I think more or less where most of us are striving for is financial flexibility.
Yeah, it's funny that you said the bills are going to go away because I always hear these stories about the athletes and they're like, oh, how am I going to feed my family? And you say to yourself, bro, you make $10 million a year. Why are you talking about feeding your family? But
you should at least think your worries.
Right. But then if you think about it, it's if you're living a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? I feel like as we make more money in life, we tend to our expenses go up too. So I spend at level that a person who makes $40 or $50 or $60,000. So if I go from making $40,000 to $50,000, my expenses will jump up So like my actual flexibility tends to not change. Like you'll get an extra paycheck, and the first thing you do is get a more expensive car note. So now that extra $200 that you got on your paycheck goes right down the hole. So that's kind of what I thought about when I was like financial freedom. It's like the freedom to say like, okay, cool, like I want that, and if I buy that, I'm not going to miss out on a meal, or I'm not going to, miss out on a bill, or I'm not going to have to, cancel that plan that I had with my friends or something like that. So I'm really excited to talk about this. And without further ado, let's jump right into our scenario. So again, guys, if you were been following me this week, I put up a post to say what are some areas that men struggle with finances, and I saw a lot of responses. Some people were saying like takeout. Some people were saying saving too much. Some people were like, asking to borrow money. So I created some scenarios based off of that. So my first scenario I have here, and I titled each one of these. So my first scenario I have here is the Families ATM is what I called it. And it says, Jerry isn't rich, but he has enough money to cover his expenses. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it's small. Jerry isn't rich, but he has enough money to cover his expenses and have a comfortable cushion afterwards. Jerry's family is aware that he lives comfortably and often asks him to borrow money, which they repay back sporadically, if at all. This often puts Jerry into a financial bind, but his love of his family and desire to help them out keeps him doing it. And I came up with that scenario because I do feel like oftentimes, our desire to help our family out. I remember, if you know who Bart Scott is actually a former NFL linebacker. I was listening to him talk one time, and he was like, yeah, right now I'm paying more rent than government assistance because, like, we just have that desire to help our family out a lot. So what are some advice that you guys would give to Jerry, the guy who has extra money, but since he's constantly looking to help family or constantly looking to help friends out, isn't living as flexible as he should?
I can start here. For me, the most obvious answer is just say no. You can't help everybody all the time. It might hurt. Some people might have an attitude with you, but you got to say no. Anytime, unless it's mama, you can't say no to mama. But everybody else, no, you have to let them figure it out because, my rule of thumb is don't feed the bears. You go to the zoo, it says don't feed the bears. The moment you feed them, they'll always come back to you expecting a meal. And whether they can figure it out on their own, the easiest thing is to ask somebody else. So, no is one of my favorite words.
You got it, Ryan?
You can go if you like.
I think, because I've dealt with it a little bit, I think the biggest thing is don't do what you can't afford to lose. I said, it's different levels. If you're on a level and you're making good money and somebody needs $40, and I look at it as like it's a takeout meal that I don't need, I'll give that. But I mean, and I've also been in a situation where it was thousands, and I just feel like don't lend or give money that you can't stand to lose, because money destroys families, relationships, friendships. And I mean, it was situations where it was people close to me, and I always looked at them different. I mean, I still see them and I got love, but it's a total, so no matter, what level I get to, I mean, I'm always going to remember that, you know what I mean? I can have 5 million and you won't get $5. So I just feel like, as far as that question, just don't, I mean, we all have good hearts and we all want to help. And a lot of us come from nothing. So you do want to give back and people helped you get there, but don't give up something that's going to kill you or hurt you or make you can't, handle your business.
That's good.
I always go back to, I think I may round out this conversation. I always go back to your plan, right? If for me, it's, I'm always thinking about, okay, how does this fit in the context of my overall plan? Like, what am I trying to accomplish? So if I have goals and either, investment goals or whatever else I'm trying to get to, those things would take priority. So when somebody comes to me and now I have to decide, okay, is that situation bigger than my priority if I don't have it to lose? And then I think I would default to everything that Keith and Joe said. Either, hey, I have it, I can lose it, or just no, I can't, I can't, or I won't do it. But I think when we have a plan surrounding what we're doing with our money and everything's budgeted out, like, okay, if I give this money to this person, where in my budget is this not going to go? And then it just allows our decisions to be a lot easier to decide, okay, am I willing to give up this $100 and then I can't put that money to either one, my investments, or what am I not going to be able to do? Am I not eating out? Or like, what do I have to sacrifice to give this person that money?
Right.
And for mom, I think obviously we're going to sacrifice that every day of the week, right? But if it's somebody else, you got to think a little bit deeper and a little bit harder about whether or not that's something we're going to do. And so that's kind of how I would round it out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Keep hit on it because one time my brother Jamil, he actually just put a comment up, but like I had to be like my first part-time job, and he told me one time, he was like, "Don't lend out money unless you can afford to not be paid back." So like that was always like, "Don't lend out money unless you can afford to not be paid back." So in my mind, if someone never asks me for money, it's like, okay, I'm not getting this back, and that's always the way I look at it. Like I'm not getting this back, and if it does come back, cool, whatever, it came back. But if it doesn't come back, I'm not, stressing over it. With that being said, generally speaking, over $50, I'm not lending it out because where I'm at financially right now, I can't afford to be paid back.
That's a good number. That's a good number.
Right. Like, I'm not going to lose a friendship over $50, but like, you start talking about more than that, I'm like, all right, man. Like, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I appreciate you guys' input on that. So this next one, this next one is like me all the way down the hole. So let me put this up. One of my buddies put up, shout out to the tech guy. Just so you know, if y'all saw that little donations page, it said to hire a tech guy because I'm my own tech guy right now. And thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Actually, Ryan, while he was live, actually sent the donation. So I appreciate that, bro. That was dope. So my next scenario I put up is about the impulsive spender. Let me click it up on the screen. The impulsive spender. Chris grew up poor. Chris now has a job where he makes good money and has the ability to live comfortably. Because of his upbringing, he has the propensity to splurge on himself. He feels like since he did not have much as a child, he does not want to deprive himself as an adult and is very impulsive with his spending. Because of this mindset, he struggles to maintain a healthy balance in his savings account. What advice would you guys give to Chris?
I can lead if you guys want me to start.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like a broken record after we're done here. I try to be consistent, man. I always go back to the plan. What's your plan? Like, what's your plan? I feel like once we have a plan for our money, a lot of these things kind of take care of themselves, and we can make decisions on where, how important is this to you. I use it literally a couple hours ago, I guess I should say. I was at T-Mobile because I was paying $270 a month for AT&T, and T-Mobile was $120. Why am I paying them an extra $150? I could be buying enjoying, So it's a dollar question, right? Like, where do I want to, like, where am I going to get the most bang for my buck? And I have a plan around, hey, I want to get to X amount of dollars. I want to have, this. I want to have that from a financial standpoint. Then it allows us to allocate those dollars. I think a lot of us, just generally speaking, a lot of us operate our money without any plan in place. So when we get our money, if we don't have a plan for it, it just goes wherever it goes. But if we either have a budget or two, hey, I want to have 100,000 in a bank or in investments in 10 years. Okay, that money got to go to, some of that got to go to the savings, or I'm not going to hit that goal or that plan. And so that takes away. Okay, do I care more about the Jordans, or do I care more about the other stuff, the other investments or information I can get. So that's how I usually approach these things. Is, how does it fit in your plan? Right.
And the only thing I'll ask you about that, Ryan, and one of you guys can also chime in on that, is like, how do you crush that? Because in Chris's scenario, he grew up poor. So if you grow up saying like not having, and you get that opportunity, and it's like, I want to treat myself because this is all the things I didn't have. And like, obviously, if you realize like, cool, like if I'm not buying this stuff, I'll have more money, but I feel like I should be treating myself. So how do you like fight that urge? And, you can chime in on that, and the other guys could do that too. That's something I struggle with personally too. That's why I'm kind of like trying to get your opinion on that.
I think, if we all be honest with ourselves, like I said, me personally, I just think it's different stages in life, different maturity levels. Because when I was young, I worked at a mortgage company, and I don't know if you guys were aware, it was a mortgage company back maybe 20 years ago called AmeriQuest Mortgage. And it was a subprime lending market. And I mean, I went in there with no college, no experience. I mean, it was straight cold calling. It was almost like boiler room. And when I got that first check, I mean, you come in nothing and you give me a $12,000 check. I mean, I wrote like an $8,000 check and put it on a Denali. Like, you know what I mean? I wanted a truck. Like, I splurged and I was like, you know, I'm gonna get this money again next month, the next month, the next month. But sometimes that don't really happen. So, like I said, I think it's a maturity thing more than anything else. For me personally, and I only can speak for me personally, and I'm not a financial advisor. Even though, Ryan, I did work for American Express Financial Advisors back in the day. For like, you know what I mean, for a year. So I did get some, you know, education on it. But, you know, being from like where Reese said, like not having, you know, things and wanting the girls and you know, when I got that first check, I was like, shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I felt like a street dude. Like, you know what I mean? I'm 22, 23. I felt like a street dude, but like, you know, taking losses in anything. And like I said, everybody has different levels. A loss to somebody that's viewing might be $300 and it could screw their whole month up or whatever. Like once you take those losses and once you see that, you know, you're still renting and you should own and things like that, it's a level of maturity. And I think that, you know what I mean? Chris, if he's blessed, he'll go through some of that and then he'll be able to meet a guy like Ryan or meet a guy like me. And that's another thing. Right. Always speak to people that know more than you. I learned that a long time ago. You got to speak to people that know more than you, and you can't be scared to, you know, to talk to somebody about your situation.
That was heavy. That was a word right there. If y'all watched my episode 2 weeks ago, I said I usually get like my first big gym around 7:30 and it's 7:28. So y'all know I'm accurate saying that, but that was a big one right there. Go ahead, Joe. I know you were about to say something.
Yeah. So for me, I believe you can have it all. So I'll you know, like the other two guys, I'll talk about me. I probably have about like 210 or 15 pairs of sneakers, shoes, and all that stuff. And I just ordered a few more actually before this. So my bad about the donation. I got you though. But you have to show restraint. And that's really, really the big thing. Do you need it right then and now? For me, I scour. I will find a bargain. I will find a deal. I'll get a discount code. I will wait it out. I know where to go when it's on clearance. I make relationships when I go out shopping because here's the thing. We like to look nice. That's part of our culture. And I sum that up to the big part of it is that you have to sow into yourself. We work hard for those 40 plus hours a week. So you know, once you get that paycheck and it all goes to bill, you feel defeated. You feel like, you know, I'm working just to survive and not thrive. So, you know, and part of your plan has to be, how do I reward myself, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever. How do I reward myself to make myself feel valuable for all the hard work that I put in?
I got a quick rebuttal real quick. Joe and Ryan, because I deal with this a lot, even now. Like a couple months ago, I think I deal with like being broke PTSD or something like that. Because when I buy things, no, I mean like seriously, I remember like before when I got I had a nice car or whatever, but when I went and bought like a brand new Infiniti or something like that, I beat myself up like it's people that don't have this or don't have that, and you know what I mean. I like was driving it like, I should take this bag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to know, do y'all go through the same thing? Like, even, you know, recently, I wanted to get like an OLED TV. I already had one, but I wanted a bigger one. And I never buy myself anything anymore. I save money, I invest, and I just be thinking like, I really want this, but I don't really need this. Like, do y'all go through the same type of things?
Absolutely not. I'm a church kid, so the word says the poor will always be among us, and they will always be among us. So that's something that you can't change no matter how hard you want to. So you know, give back. There are plenty of ways we can find to give back to help others, but I'm still gonna look nice doing it.
Right.
Yeah, man. I Keith, I agree with you, man. I've been holding off. I've been saying I'm gonna get a car for like 3 years now. I just haven't done it. I haven't done it. I can't pull the trigger. I'm like there's other stuff but that's my plan, and that's why I always go back to. And I think you know, Joe's right. Like, you got to figure out what your plan is and work that plan. Like my plan just has me doing different things that I feel like are more important than the car purchase. Like, could I afford the car purchase? Absolutely. But then that's money that's not going to the other things that I prioritize. Like, so and so when Joe says you can have everything, I would kind of dispute that as well. I think once again, we all have our things that we are going to like or want to do. So honestly, Keith and Joe, I probably go on 3 to 4, if not more, vacations a year. I like the vacation. We like to go. Like we figure out how we can go and get out of Dodge, but I don't like to spend a lot on my clothes. I don't value sneakers. You know, I just don't. So I think we have to figure out what is our value system, what's our plan, and how we get the most joy and value out of our money.
It's a toss up. We all have different things that we want to like, and again, you just got to factor in sewing back into yourself. That's the most important part of it all. Is rewarding yourself for the hard work.
Whatever that looks like. Absolutely.
You know what? That's sewing back into yourself. It's actually the perfect segue into the next scenario, because my next scenario is about the oversaver. So let's talk about the oversaver. So Mark is working and living comfortably. He has a good amount of money coming in and pays his bills on time. Mark understands the importance of saving. Make sure he is constantly putting money away for a rainy day. Mark, however, does not treat himself and only buys necessities. He often turns down invitations to vacations, restaurants, etc., although he can afford to do so because he's concerned about having money available. What advice would you guys give to Mark, the guy who's just like, yo, I'm saving this money, I'm not spending it, like the super tight guy? Like, what advice would you give to him? And also, while you're considering answering that one, what are some other things that you can do with money besides just talking in a bank account?
Options. Yeah, I was about to say that, as far as, because I used to save money. I don't look at it as saving money. Other than having a retirement plan, you have to use your money to make money. You always have to use your money to make more money for you, and whether it be stocks, whether it be new business, you got to find other streams of income, because you never really have the money that you want unless you have multiple streams of income. So I'm always trying to find a new business, a new hustle. I don't really believe, maybe I'm wrong for this, and somebody probably need to tell me. I don't really believe in saving or whatever. Not particularly saving. I mean, I have money that's set aside, but I will invest it if I feel that the right opportunity comes along. Not like a super risky investment, but I'm not, I'm always trying to find something to, like, if it's 10,000 that I know that's just, I need to try to make that 15 some type of way. So maybe I'm thinking of it in the wrong way, but I definitely don't believe in over saving. I'm not. You have to find a way. Like if he has 3 tax places, I'm trying to get to 5. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not. I'm spending the liquid income. I'm trying to make more.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. When it comes to oversaving, well, first with Mark, I'd be a little bit worried about his mental health. You turning down everything, like that's self-deprivation. It really, really is.
He can't even get it. He can't even go get a grub.
Exactly. You eat noodles every day. But the real with that piece is, one, this is the perfect opportunity to increase your knowledge base. This is when you're oversaver, so you start talking to people that know more, or are either doing what you had some thought that you like to be doing, so you know what to do with your money, and then you go out and you diversify. You can't just let your money sit in a bank account. Like, savings accounts are trash no matter where you go. Everything is getting under 1%. If you can find anything over 0.5%, it's like a miracle. So you really need to go out and, again, this is a perfect opportunity to make your money work for you. Go out, get into that real estate. Go, like he said, go invest into the stock market, play around with some Bitcoin, but you want to make sure you're smart about doing it. Everybody these days has a song and a dance for a get rich quick scheme. But you really have to do your research and have that sure, deep feeling that what you're doing is right and it's going to help you out in the end.
Y'all probably already know what I'm going to say.
Have a plan. Let me guess.
Hey man, I'm consistent. Hey, figure out what's important to Mark, and I find. I think kind of going back to the psychology on the I think it was the last one or the one before that, when somebody has kind of comes from broke or being poor growing up. I think like any situation, we all react to those situations differently. So you have some people that I was broke. Now I get to spend, so I'm gonna spend everything. You have
Right.
other people that I was broke coming up. Now I want to hold on to it because I don't ever want to be broke again. And so for some people, that psychology is hard to get over because they feel like if they take that vacation, if they spend too much, they may be back in that situation that they were in before. So I think there's a lot of things that Mark could do. All the things that you guys said, just having good people in his life. I think once again, kind of going, not to sound like a broken record, but to stay consistent, having that plan allows people to understand how your money is going to grow, where it's going to be, depending on the investments you're getting, what rates of return are you getting, how can you, to your point, diversify, and why does it make sense to diversify, right? And how the money you're saving could be working better for you. So actually you can save less, and now you're more comfortable to be able to spend some of your, right? And so when you start, I think, once again, I'm kind of beating the drum again about the plan. When you have that plan, it allows you to understand how all these different pieces fit into place, and then it allows you to feel more comfortable when you are making those purchases, taking that vacation, buying those J's, whatever you're doing. And now you're more comfortable in that environment.
That's good. That was real good, actually. I do have a question, and I sent this guy to you on the email that I sent. But speaking of the oversaver and having your money work for you, I feel like we often get people that, like, I feel like once every 6 months somebody messages me like, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this business opportunity, be it some kind of pyramid scheme, some kind of residual income thing, or something along those lines." So how do you guys feel about those pyramid schemes and those get rich quick plans? Like, what are your feelings about them?
During the pandemic, I probably got hit up every day for a loan. Every single day. For anybody that's watching my feed and that hit me up, you hit me up. So they were going from 50 to 500, and so the concept is okay. However, it's a better way to work and to execute it. The same thing that they're doing could be done with just a simple LLC. So some of these get rich quick schemes, they are ingenious, but they're just being used incorrectly. I'd rather not pass money one to another than I have to recruit 2 people and recruit 5 more people. I don't have time for that. I barely, like talking to people those days. So having to go out and do all this extra work is just not necessary. You just have to be smart about it. You can't be taking in, and the key is to ask as many questions and then just go do a simple Google, find out if it's legal or not. Half the stuff isn't even legal. But just finding the things that are legal and do make sense and just doing them the right way.
I believe I don't really want to quantify certain things as a get rich quick scheme, because I feel like anybody that has wealth has to work for it, be it multi-level marketing. And a lot of times, I don't want to say just our people, a lot of times we're tuned in to go to school, get your degree, get a job, be corporate. It's different ways to make money. A lot of people they definitely understand it because that LLC word is booming right now. We all know why. PUA and all the money streams that's out there. The LLC thing is booming, but like I would say to anybody, because a lot of people make jokes like, "You don't really work hard." I really, really work hard. I just do it at different times of the day, different times of the year. Like, I don't believe in the get rich quick scheme, but I do believe, I know people that have made $1 million multi-level marketing, asking people to sign up. And like I said, it's your personality. Like, even being a financial advisor or owning a tax company or whatever, you're a salesperson, you're a people person, you're a customer service person. It's all the same. It's just the way that it gets displayed.
Ryan, you got the same thing? You gonna say the same thing this time, Ryan?
I think I can say something different. I think I would just kind of I usually don't make blanket statements, but typically, I can kind of put a blanket statement out here. There's really no legitimate get rich quick scheme, right? It doesn't really exist, and that's my opinion. That's not fact, but so I don't think there's a get rich quick scheme that's legitimate. Somebody's gonna get burned, and maybe it's you. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about those. That's how I feel about those things. So I don't get involved in those. I don't do any pyramid things either. However, I don't think that any business that you can build out is a bad thing, whether it's in a pyramid environment or any other type of environment that you can build a business that can, I think to what Keith said, offer some other streams of income, build wealth, create teams. I think another thing that a lot of people are trying to do, and I think it is, it is noble to kind of come together and bring our finances together as a community. I think that's powerful to bring our finances together as a community. It's just from that point, where do we go, right? And I think that's where the education. I think Joe is talking about putting together, some financial educational seminars or literacy, and that's where we kind of get bogged down, because there's ways that we can put our money together, and if we all can come together and put 10,000, we can buy 100 shares of a company, and and you create LLCs to do those types of purchases. And there's a lot of different ways that we can get creative with our finances that are not necessarily get rich, but we're going to make some good returns, and we can do it together. And our dollars are very powerful as a group. Group economics is a thing, and it does work. We just have to know how to do it together. I actually was on a call last night. I was on a call last night with a group. I'm not a part of the group, but it's a group of Black individuals. They came together and they said, "Hey, we want to do group economics." So they did it. They have about, I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood about 50 people. They created a fund of about $30,000. They bought a lot in North Philly, and they are going to flip that lot for like 140. So you have 50 Black people that came together, right, put their money together, group economics. They had some experts and some people that kind of knew what they were talking about, and they were able to take that money and make an impact, one, in our backyard in Philly, and two, together. And they're going to get that return and profit together and grow together. And it's going to be one of many deals they'll do together. So I think, when we start talking about these things, we can't shut them down like, that's not good, and blanket statements say that they're not good. Let's flush them out. Let's have conversations, have real conversations, and let's come together. Let's do this together, and we're very powerful when we do that. So,
oh man, that's good stuff right there. I do think that there's well, obviously, I think everyone watching would agree that there's an absence of. My mom was just saying this to me earlier together. She was like, it seems like every race comes together except for Black people. Like, we're the only race that don't come together. My mom literally was just saying that to me earlier today after watching the debate. She said it. So I apologize to anybody who had to sit through those debates last night. But, she said that. And I think that's real, though. Like, if we can, find ways to come together. And I feel like whenever someone comes to me or anyone with some kind of a business plan, we automatically get skeptical. Like, Ryan, I know you since I was in high school. If you was to come to me with a business plan, my first thing would be like, you know what I'm saying? Why? Like, I trust you. I know you. Like, I don't think you're trying to burn me. So if you got trusted people in your corner, you're in the field. Like, I have a marketing degree. You're in the financial field. Joe, you might be good with you might be good with human resources. Like, and if we all have these skills and we can come together, like, you got a marketing guy, you got a finance guy, you got an HR guy here, you got this guy here. Let's come together and unify and do something and take, our city back and open up some businesses. Like you said, they came together and bought a lot. They're going to flip it. That's dope to me, So I think that what you were saying was really good and really powerful.
I would say you're doing it right. Like you're bringing people together. This is part of it. This is part of the process. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. We got to start talking about it, and once we start talking about it, then we can start doing it. You're doing it. Keep doing it, bro.
I'm trying, man. I do have one more scenario, guys, and this is probably one that a lot of people can probably relate to. This one is the paycheck to paycheck. So. As you can tell by the title, you guys can probably, at some point in their life, most people can probably relate to this scenario right here. Paul is living paycheck to paycheck. After he pays his bills and buys groceries, he has very little money left. This causes him to fall behind on bills. He has maxed out his credit cards since he has to compensate for his lack of income by swiping his credit cards, especially when emergencies arise. He's been overlooked for promotions at work. His job has frozen raises, and his income has been largely unchanged for the past few years. What are some options that Paul has to improve his situation?
Can I start?
Yeah.
I was about to say, I'm gonna piggyback on Ryan.
Paul is not living paycheck to paycheck. Paul cannot afford his lifestyle.
Right.
when you start borrowing just so you can have a lifestyle, you are not living paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck means that you can get to the next paycheck. When you're using a credit or some way to get there, you're not living pay. You're bridging the gap with
You're
debt,
overextending.
and and you're overextended, and that's a spiral. That's a downward spiral. And so look, to go back to what I've been saying, you gotta look at the
Yo, I was gonna start it off. And it sound like Ryan. I was gonna start it off and say, Paul don't have a plan if you live paycheck and swiping the credit card. No, but I think that's one of the most simplest ones. Like I said, you can't make in that statement he's swiping his credit card because he shouldn't have a credit card. He shouldn't have a credit card except for only in use of emergencies. You know what I mean? If he's living paycheck to paycheck, you gotta downsize. You gotta not buy Jordans. You gotta, you know what I mean? And you also gotta not be afraid to take that job that's gonna get you more money. A lot of times we get pigeonholed in, and I'm making 30, then I'm making 50, and you're scared to step out. Like people say, step out on faith. If I'd known what I known 20 years ago, I would have never worked those jobs that I worked. You know what I mean? But it did pay the bills, and it did, provide, but it really didn't. You know what I mean? So, like I said, as far as Paul, he need a new plan.
Yeah, I look at this maybe just a tad bit differently. I would definitely agree Paul needs to stop using the credit card and maybe use Afterpay. But the even bigger picture here is that I don't think Paul knows his worth. When I was still in the corporate world, I was always interviewing. When you're in your 20s and your 30s, you're not married, you don't have kids, you can jump from job to job. That's the perfect time to do it. So maybe Paul needs to really look at what his value is on the open market and just make a shift that way. You have to be educated. You have to know what is available to you at all times.
Well, that's good.
I would throw a book out there. Nobody threw a book out there yet, so I'll be the first to go ahead and throw one out there. There's a book written by this woman, Michelle Singletary. It's called The 30-Day Financial Fast. And it's a pretty eye-opening, not just book, but experience. My family and I have been doing it. My wife and I, in our family, have been doing it probably for the last 3 years or so, at least one, sometimes 2 months out of the year. We do a 30-day financial fast. And pretty much what it is it's a fast from spending anything not absolutely necessary. You can't eat out. You can't go, you can't do any activities. If your friends say, hey, you want to go out? Yeah, I say no. And it's just it's almost like a reset. It's like a cleanse, like a financial cleanse, if you will. And what it allows you to do is, I would equate it to that first month of COVID when everybody's like, oh man, I got all this money in my bank account because I couldn't do nothing.
Right.
You had all the extra money because you couldn't go out and spend it. So that's ultimately what it does, and it allows you to see, well, like, what do I really need just if I needed to like get real bare bones and survive. And so I would recommend that Paul or someone in that situation read that book and do that fast. And I think it at least minimally gives you a reset to just take a look at, okay, where am I? Like, where am I? Where can I? And the book is awesome. It takes you through a journey of just what your relationship is like with money, where you might be able to cut some fat from the budget, and really has you go back and look at that plan and that budget. And it's on a lot of different areas. But I would highly recommend to Paul as the fictitious person, but also in general as real people. That's a great book that I've used and recommend quite a bit.
Yeah, and
piggybacking off what Ryan said, you know what I mean? Talk to them about having a budget. A lot of people still don't have a budget, even if it was a minor budget. I remember, years ago when I never had extra money or anything like that, what I started doing was when I go to McDonald's or go somewhere, I would always, how you get change back and they give you a $5. I would always just save $5 bills for whatever reason. Back then, it was to buy the kids Christmas toys. You save every $5 during the year, and you don't have to splurge at Christmas because you got this little bit of money set away to spend or do whatever, because everybody's going to buy their kids toys or whatever. So I think that people need to figure out little things in their own level, and it all goes back to levels. And like Ryan said, like, everybody don't have a budget. Everybody don't have investments or even think about it. There may be some people in here that's trying to get to the next soda at lunch or a bag of chips during their lunch break. There got to be ways to get them started. I think a lot of people need to figure out a start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's good thing that you mentioned budgeting, Keith. So I remember I was living at my mom's house still. I was making like 45,000 a year from my job at the time, and I just felt like I was broke. And I was like, "Why am I'm living at home? Like, why am I broke?" Right?
Making
Literally,
45, right?
Right? Like, why am I broke? She's only charging me $200 a month in rent, and I pay the internet bill. Like, why don't I have any money? Where is my money going? Like, I don't really have anything to show. I wasn't even driving yet. Like, I didn't have a car. So I sat down one day and I wrote out my budget. I said, "Okay, this is my rent amount. This is how much I'm paying for student loans. This is how much, I spend on my son." I didn't have my daughter yet. And I looked at it and I found out I was spending like almost $30 a day on takeout food. Like $20 to $30 a day on takeout food. That adds up so quickly. Like, and when I did that, I said, okay, you're limiting how much you can spend per day now, like on food. Like, you're not spending no more than $10. And once I got into the span of spending $10, I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm going to drop that down to $5. Like, once I got used to that, and $5 was just a little for. Then around that time, Wendy's dropped the 4 for $4, so I was just in heaven. I mean, I take that little $5, get my 4 for $4 from Wendy's. There was enough of different menu items that I could change it up, and like once I got that opportunity to sit down and write out my budget and look at it and see, okay, this is going here, this is going here. Okay, I want to save this amount of money because I don't want to be living with my mom forever. Obviously, I want to move out. And that really, really helped me. And what I also found that I needed to do was like every month or every maybe quarter, I had to rewrite it because I would like lose focus after a while. I would have to rewrite it down. Like, all right, cool, let me rewrite this. Okay, let me shift this focus. Let me do this. Okay, cool. And that really helped me. So anyone watching, I'm sorry, I hit the Hey Google button on my phone. But anyone watching, I would suggest that write down your budget. I think that like seeing things sometimes is better. I know sometimes like have a mental plan, like, I got paid and blah, 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 blah. Another thing I realized when I wrote it down, sometimes on payday, I would drop like $100 that weekend, like without even realizing it. Cause it's like, all right, cool. Every pay Friday is takeout day. That would be like 50 easy. Saturday, somebody hit me up like, yo, bro, we going out tonight. Cool. I got your drinks tonight, bro. That's another 50. Then I wake up Monday morning, that's when all the transactions from the weekend post. I'd be like, yo, I dropped like $400 this weekend. Like, yo, what's going on? So I found that once I moved out of my mom and I got on my own and things got a little tighter, it was easier for me to deal with that though, because I had that visionary budget. It was like, okay, you got to stick to this. You got to stick to this. This is how much you can spend here. This is how much you spend here. And that really helped. And also another thing that came up on that post I put up was takeout. Guys, like, cook, learn to cook. It saves you a lot of money. You ain't got to be the best chef in the world, but like, if you can learn to cook a couple of dishes there, like I make a big pot of spaghetti. I made a big pot of spaghetti on Monday. I'm going to be eating that all week. Like, I'm here by myself. I don't get the kids back till this week, and it's just me. So rather than me spending takeout every day, I said I'm going to make a big pot of spaghetti on Monday. And whenever I get home, I go heat up a pot.
And it's crazy because you got to keep those same principles when you do get money. You gotta still not spend that $30 because I see a lot of times, people get this extra 10,000 here or whatever, and they just zoom, going to Gucci, and I'm like, you got to keep that same level, keep that mindset,
right?
And that's when you'll have something like,
keeping yourself accountable is really, really important. I'm surprised that word hasn't popped up during this conversation.
Right.
If you don't have anything to keep yourself accountable in place, whether it's a person or whether it's some big goal that you have far off that you're trying to achieve, it's never ever going to work. So that's the first part of it, and just trying different things. Different things work for different people. For myself, what always worked for me is that I hid money from myself. So once I got paid, I had 60% go here, 20% go here, 10% go here. So that way I always knew, and then the money that I had saved would go into an account that I didn't have a debit card for, didn't have a checkbook for. So I really had to go to the bank, which I hated doing, to get the money out. And that would always make me think, what did you do to get yourself to this place where you got this out of control? So you have to be versatile and you have to be accountable.
And I would just kind of say everything you said, Reese. I loved all that. I think a lot of times when we're building that budget, and then I think more or less to the wealth side of it, right? So that budget kind of keeps our regular month to month in check. But when we're saying, okay, I want to start really building my wealth out, a lot of times it is hard work, but it may take quite a while. But our budget is going to be our wealth engine a lot of times, right? And for many of us, we don't always budget in the savings And then in addition to the savings, the other longer term investments. Hey, this I'm not touching. Like that's going into my retirement, my 401k. That's going into my IRA, whatever long term vehicle. So you have these different buckets that are going to go towards your wealth. So at some point, going back to the beginning of the show, you get to this level of financial flexibility, where now we have this savings, we have this cash flow, we have these different resources available to us, and now we're in the driver's seat. Like, all right, I don't like this job, I can quit tomorrow. Right. I got other stuff that I can lean on. But that feeling, it hit a lot different when you say, "Leo, I need this job." I can't
if I can plug
have this income.
If I can plug in there real quick. So this is
something, definitely.
From doing all the taxes that, I do, and I'm pretty sure Keith can speak to this as well. Something that I've noticed that the majority of my clients are African-American. They're not participating in their 401k or whatever retirement plan that they have. And it makes absolutely no sense. You're leaving free money on the table. Your company is matching you at 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever they're matching you at least do that minimum. You're going to need to retire one day, and if our generation even gets any Social Security, it's going to be a miracle. So you have to have a nest egg. You have to have something stored up for yourself. So when you get old and you want to travel, you want to buy the new house, once you get into your retirement, you have those funds already sitting there for you.
Well, that's good, man. That's good stuff. I'm gonna go on to the last question, guys, and it's just simple. Leave your thoughts, and then what's one thing that you guys want men to know about money and finances?
Start off young with your credit. It matters. It matters a hell of a lot, and we think it don't. I just did a workshop at one of the the Earn centers or whatever, and and I didn't know a lot of things that I didn't know, growing up. Help your kids. Once you do have good credit, put those kids down as an authorized user on your credit card. Get them a head start like the white people do. If I could tell anybody, start off keeping control of your credit. That's the first discipline. If you have $1,000 credit card, don't go past $300 over. Keep it under 30%. If you can pay it off, pay it off. But the credit destroys us early, and we're always fighting to come back. Even when we get money, we're still fighting to come back. And I'll remember getting my first car at 21%, and it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like the money that you're paying out. So I would say the credit piece. You know what I mean? Talk to somebody, even if you don't want to pay. Give me a call. I'll give you simple advice. You know what I mean? But the credit is a good start. It's the best start, I think.
I would say be educated. Again, I'm a church guy. The people fall for a lack of knowledge. So you have to know what you're getting yourself into. Something that people will always get trapped up in when I was still in banking was with the overdraft. They didn't understand that they could opt in or opt out of it. And they thought, well, if I opt in, it's going to give me some extra money, not knowing every time you down overdraft, it's going to cost you $35. Then when you finally do get paid, half of your check is going to pay the bank back, which is a for-profit institution. They want your money. So be educated, be knowledgeable, ask questions, do the research, make sure you're aware every time you're signing your name, what you're signing yourself up for.
Cool. That's I'm gonna segue what Keith was talking about, the credit, and just give a few tips in addition to what you said on the credit. In addition to adding your kids, we can bring our community along. You can add friends and family too.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many people I got as authorized using my credit card.
Look at the comment from Melanie right there.
There you go. Yeah. So my daughter's 13. She's already an authorized user on my credit card, and my sisters are. My mom's on. Like everybody that because we can, as a community, once again, we can bring each other along. Two, you talked about balances and just kind of managing our own credit. A tip I give everybody, as much as I can, I scream it to the hilltops. Call your credit card companies and ask them to increase your limits. Call your credit card companies and ask them to increase your limits. I'll give you the reason why. If you have $1,000 credit limit, so that's the most you can spend on your credit, and you owe, I'm just gonna say $500 on that credit card, you have a 50% utilization. Utilization is a big part of your credit score. Let's say you call your credit company and you say, hey, can you increase my limit from 1,000 to $2,000. And they say, sure, Ryan, you can increase your limit. Even though you didn't even make a payment, you still had the same $500 balance. Your utilization just went from 50% to 25% and put you under the 30% threshold. So there are ways and strategies that we can increase our knowledge and the things that and things that we can do to help our credit scores and all that. And it doesn't necessarily even cost us money. It's just knowing what to do. And by the way, when I say call and ask for a credit limit increase, I don't mean do it once. I mean do it 3 to 4 times a year. I literally call my credit companies 3 to 4 times a year and ask for limit increases.
See, Ryan just schooled me because I don't ask for credit. I'll do it maybe once a year. I didn't know you could do it 3, 4 times.
All the time. They might decline me 2 or 3 times, but I'm gonna ask again. I don't care.
Yeah. With most companies,
tell me yes. You know,
with most companies, you can actually do that twice a year. Like with my American Express, every 6 months, like clockwork. And you also need to, again, this is where education comes in. A lot of the companies won't even pull your credit. Some companies will. And so you got to be very strategic.
Yeah,
but most of them will not. Your American Express, your Citibank, your Discover, they won't pull your credit for the credit increase.
Yeah, so that's my quick credit tips. I would say, just generally speaking, find financial professionals. Most people will talk to you for free, at least on the front end. I'm happy to have conversations with individuals. I love helping our community. And then get a plan around your insurances. So insurances are big. Life insurance. I do a lot of life insurance for my clients. Disability insurance, if you were to get hurt and can't go to work. Health insurance. Make sure you got the right health insurance in place. And then you talked about savings. I think in addition to the savings, we have to buy assets, right? And what buying assets looks like could be stocks, could be mutual funds, could be whatever. But we have to buy assets. Part of our budget, part of our wealth engine has to be going to buy assets. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Hey, dropping real knowledge there. So Ryan, since you already got the floor, man, I usually always, before I sign off, I always let my actually, I forgot something. Jesus. My fault. I'm giving away a free copy of my book every episode, guys. So I had to choose somebody to be the winner for this episode. I forgot to announce that at the beginning. My fault. So all right, while y'all giving y'all spills, I'll pick somebody. I don't know who I'm gonna pick yet though. But before I let my guests go, I always give you guys the opportunity to plug what it is that you're doing in your personal life and your business life. So Ryan, you just had the floor. I know you want to talk about the $1 billion. I can't even think of the right name of it. The $1 billion
bridge, baby. It's very simple.
There you go. The $1 billion bridge.
My wake up and run through a wall mission is to do everything I can in my power to bridge the wealth gap in the African American and Black community. And a lot of people don't understand how to use financial tools and financial resources and even have a conversation. And so we're here to start those conversations and not make talking about finances taboo in the Black community and Black families. We're going to talk about insurance. We're going to push people to have these conversations and start these conversations that are going to be important to us. Because once you start talking about something, now we need to do something about it. And so the $1 billion bridge is the spark of a conversation around generational wealth and how to create it, how to maintain it, how to preserve it, and how to continue to start and increase the momentum of wealth in the Black family, in the Black community. And how we can come together and do that as a family and as a community and continue to do it and pass this generational wealth that our other ethnic groups are seeing and how they get a leg up. We can do the same thing for ourselves. We can do the same thing for our families. And it's simple strategies a lot of times that we can do that. Just putting a plan together and having the right people in your corner. So I'm happy to talk to anybody. Feel free to reach out. I think Reese put my Instagram hashtag there. I'm happy to have conversations. I love talking about wealth in the Black community and how we can develop strategies, because there's so many. How we can develop strategies to ensure that our families don't look the same from a wealth perspective, in 20 years as we do today.
Yeah, and if I wanted to watch that $1 billion bridge presentation, like I said, I've seen it twice, guys. It's amazing. But how did you get into that presentation if you wanted to watch it?
Connect with me. Give me, shoot me a message, direct message, or call Reese. He'll put you in touch with me. Yeah, reach out. We're excited about the mission. We're trying to get it, trying to get it to the masses. It's going to be big. It's going to be big.
Yeah. It's an amazing presentation, guys. It really is. I don't want to give it away, but because I don't want y'all to think that y'all don't gotta watch it. Get in contact with me. Get in contact with Ryan, guys. I really, really recommend it. It's only a half an hour, so it's not like one of those super long Zoom. It's done over Zoom, so you just half an hour presentation, and I highly recommend everyone that's watching the
conversation.
Yeah,
it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be on that next $1 billion bridge for sure. But like with anything, like we talk about generational wealth, we got to pass that generational knowledge. You got to talk to these kids. Like I coach youth football just so I can get in kids' ears about simple things. I mean, like I said, so they won't make the financial mistakes that we made. Nobody told me about credit when I was young. I mean, it just didn't happen. I don't remember ever having a conversation from anybody really about credit. So just put yourself out there. And for the people that's listening, don't be afraid to talk to people. A lot of times people think, I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want nobody to see that I'm doing this. It never hurted me. It never hurted me to ask for anything. Ask people around you. Ask the coach. Ask the pastor. Ask the person that's on the choir. Just talk. How did you do this? How did you make that? And I mean, just be able to listen. Not take up somebody's total time asking the same question. Just listen and take the knowledge in. But like I said, we got to pass it on to this youth. And maybe they won't be out here doing some of the things that they're doing. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. And keep talk about what it is that you're doing while you got the floor. With your
like I said, with the pandemic I haven't coached because of the pandemic, but my big thing is getting in the communities, you know what I mean, being visible, letting them know that they can do different things and take different routes, because everybody's not going to take that, go get their master's degree. Some people will, some people won't, but I think it was a bad stigma that you weren't successful unless you had that. When I literally know millionaires that make legitimate money, it's so many resources they have with online and different things like that. But I just tell people, talk to these kids, talk to your family first, and anybody can always contact me. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't. And I say to them, you could have been asked me that, and I could have been helped you with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So definitely keep the communication lines open more. And like I said, I'm going to be on that $1 billion bridge too, because I didn't even know about it. But once you do know about it, take action. Take action. You see people with a nice car, with nice homes, they work hard. They really work hard. Take action. A lot of people say, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm going to be rich. How? Yeah. You got to take steps, and you got to make a plan.
Yeah, Keith dropping gems. This Keith, you can follow him on Instagram at Jones with a Z, because I couldn't find him when I was looking for him to tag him in the post, because I put the S there and not the Z, but at Jones Tax. He does tax services, credit repair services. Hit him up, message him. Again, if you're struggling with oh man, I'm watching my little Facebook feed over there. You just got a bunch of likes while you were talking, Keith. But no, y'all know. If y'all know, I got like a bunch of different devices running over here. You can't tell, but I do. I got a laptop here, then I got a little tripod over here, and I got my actual phone here, and so I'm like all over the place. But like the likes was popping up on the screen while you was talking, Keith. So that was good. But if you can't reach Keith, by all means, message me and I'll connect you guys. And Joe, go ahead. You bring us home.
Yeah, so again, I own and operate 3 Jackson Hewitts in the city of Philadelphia. You can actually check us out at rj-financial.com. There we do tax preparation, we do credit consultation, we do insurance, we do small business development, document creation, all that different stuff. So we're one-stop shop for any and everything financial. The new thing I want to do that I really want to spend some time on is called 4904 North LLC. It's named after my grandmother's address. She's the one that taught me the ins and outs of money. We went to the bank every Saturday. That was our big thing. So, my big plug and my big thing is getting into communities, specifically churches and schools, and sitting down and have in-depth conversations about the ins and outs of finances, how to prepare, how to plan, how to build wealth, how to connect the dots, how to give everybody the knowledge that they need so that they can pilot their own ship. It's one thing to pay everybody else to do stuff for you, but if you know how to do it yourself, that makes it all the more valuable.
No, that's real good stuff. So I'm gonna pick my winner. And actually, I think most of the commenters already have this book and somehow. So I want to pick my friend Melanie as the winner of the book. Melanie has actually been very, very, very consistent in watching my episodes and participating all month. So I thank you, Melanie, for watching. I will get in contact with you to deliver you your copy of the book. I thank you, Adam, for sponsoring this month. This is my good friend, A.B. Bracewell. If you saw my Dear Black Woman episode, he actually was one of the panelists. He just released his book towards the end of August at Ready for a Relationship. And it's just about getting ready for. He's a relationship therapist, so he just talks about like things that you need to do to be in a healthy relationship. So Mel, I'll contact you after I go offline to set up a time for you to get the book. Thank you guys for coming, man. I think you guys are amazing. Y'all definitely done dropped some knowledge to me, man. And one nugget I want to drop before I sign off is like we got to put our pride aside, man. So I know that's one big thing that has stopped me from talking to that stopped me from talking to anybody about my money, because it's like, well, dang, like I come off as this, I don't know, I want to look like this guy who got it together. I want to look like I live a better life than I do. And if I show you what my nitty gritty, bank account looks like, if I show you what my credit score is looking like, you're not going to look at me the same. So Joe, I know we've talked about it before when I was trying to get you clients for your taxes. I'm like, well, I can get so-and-so, but they don't want you to see their W-2s or, things like that. So you got to put that pride aside sometimes. Keep you laughing. You got that before.
Seen them all.
Right. So we got to put our pride aside, man. And like, it's okay. And I think that you guys would agree that you have seen some people, like whatever financial situation you probably got, y'all probably done seen worse. Like, and I'm not even a financial guy, but I'm sure I'm like, will put my paycheck on the line for that, whatever financial situation you're dealing with. Right.
Worse and better.
Worse are better. Right. So connect with me, guys. If you don't find, all of them are on Facebook by the names displayed, Keith, Ryan, and Smith. So you can look them up on Facebook and contact them that way. If you don't feel comfortable, reach out to me, message me, text me, whatever. I'll connect you guys to them. One final plug before I sign off. Again, if you want to support this program, again, some of the things that the money will go to is better equipment, better sound quality, larger audience reach, higher profile guests. Not that these men weren't esteemed enough, but some higher profile guests, a paid intern so that I'm not running around like a headless chicken trying to do everything myself. Preferably, I would like to hire a high school teenager to help me out with this, honestly, because and one of my friends alluded to earlier, we're working on starting a mentoring program. So I would like to be able to pay, that guy to kind of help work some of this stuff so that I can focus primarily on facilitation and not some of the other tech things. I want to stream to more platforms so I can get to LinkedIn. I can get to some other streaming platforms. The donations will help business partnerships, and it will help my web and social media presence. I will never charge you guys to watch this, but those are some things that your donations will go to helping me out with. And last but not least, I will be starting on this coming Monday something new. The first Monday of every month, I'm going to do what's called Mogul Mondays. I'm just going to have a Black business owner, male or female, on for about 15 minutes. And we're just going to give them a chance to plug what it is that they're doing. So this coming Monday, I'll actually be with the woman, Joy Mackey. Joy reached out to me based off of what she saw me doing in the show. She's releasing a book about, the racial tensions in America, and she actually wanted me to contribute to the book. So I'll have her on this Monday. She'll be talking more in detail about the book. And, I have like an excerpt that's about like 7 or 8 pages long that I actually wrote myself. And Lord knows I never thought I would be anybody's author, but here I am, with a portion of a book at this point in my life. So it'll only be the first Monday of the month for about 15 or 20 minutes. I'll be live with Joy. So tune into that, guys. Look for more information about that in the coming weeks. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for watching. Keith, Brian, Joe, I really appreciate y'all for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Are super dope, man. And keep all that stuff you was talking about not being able to contribute, man. You was dropping gems all episode.
Hey,
man. But thanks, guys. I'm a little over, so I'm going to sign off now. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Peace.
All right.
Man.